Today we're having a look at the newest city building survival game called Patron, and it's kind of a bit of a Banished 2.0 as some people have been mentioning it or calling it. So we'll be looking at the basics of this game as we start a bit of a let's try or let's play, so stay tuned. Hi guys, I'm ExactChaos and welcome to Patron. This is the newest survival city building game. Very similar to Banished is what I hear and what people are saying. And to be honest, I've had a bit of a look myself and there are some similarities, but there are also so many cool other things. So let's jump into it. This game, okay, well actually let's get started. So let's call our town, I should be able to change that. Yeah, there we go. Change it. Chaos. Hang on. Chaos Colony. Let's call it Chaos Colony. What are we going to do here? Ooh, that's not bad. Patron. Something like I'm kind of a fan of this one. It's kind of a wolfy kind of a vibe. Let's do that. Let's grab that one. Chaos Colony. Now, let's have a look. So this is a dormant volcano. The map just doesn't look quite as much fun as I would like. Well, it's probably not that bad, but let's have a look. Something like this, the Mediterranean one, looks pretty cool. So it's not procedurally generated at all, which to some extent could be a bit of a bummer. This isn't bad either. Lots of open space here to work with. Twin islands. Gives you the ability to cut across to the other side, have a lot of water around. A lot of water has some good qualities. Probably a little bit limited in terms of the ore richness. This is dry. I don't quite like that. Not for one of my first games. The reef, it's tropical. Yeah, okay. Islands of plenty. Okay, that's just a lot of everything. This is a challenge. The delta. All of these are fairly challenging. So let's not do that then. Let's go. I'm kind of keen on this one. The Twin Islands. It's temperate and it's got a lot of water. So and it's fairly fertile, I think. Okay, so let's get straight into it over here. I'm just going to use the normal settings because I don't necessarily know what half of them do just yet. Resources high, population. That's adults. This is younglings, and that's children. I think that's what it is. Can I hover over it and see? No. Event frequency. Oh, hang on. Modifies the number of citizens you get at the beginning. So yeah, it doesn't actually quite tell you what it is. So event frequency. Ooh. Or medium, weather, normal, demolished, refund. So I get half back if I demolish something. Disasters, normal. No idea what kind of disasters we get. Starting month is April. And difficulty is normal. And I think we're just going to use these standard settings. So let's get straight into it. So I've played it a little bit just to get kind of wrap my head around some of the mechanics and so on. But now let's get into it. So welcome, Patron. Your citizens have already built a townhouse and are ready. A town hose. Town hose. I'm assuming it's like a town hall or something, and that's just like supposed to be townhouse. And are ready for your guidance. Focus on getting your citizens a place to live, food to eat, and firewood to keep them warm. Winter is coming and it's up to you to prepare for it in time. Hint, build houses, build and upgrade a gatherer's shelter to produce food, build a sawmill, produce firewood, build a depot near production buildings to make transport faster and increase the maximum stock size. Okay, let's get into it. So I'm going to pause the game for a second while we quickly have a look at our surroundings. So I can only zoom out about this far, so I can't go any further. Can I... Yeah, I can't actually twist the angle, so I'll just have to go out over here. Do we have a mini-map of any sort? I don't think so. Views, mini-maps. This is grids. Oh, there is a mini-map. Okay, there is a mini-map. So I can kind of find myself on the spectrum of things over here. So we're kind of in the middle. Ooh, these are cliffy style things, so I'm hoping I can make use of this water for fishing and things like that. On this side, certainly we can do the same thing. We should be able to bridge across over here to go from the one to the other. I'm not sure if we got ferries and things like that. I mean, I'm not sure if we use boat connections to get to the other side or anything like that. But anyway, fair enough. That's kind of what we've got going for ourselves. We've got a fair bit of money, bit of food, and some basic resources available to us. Then if we have a look at grid view, now we can actually switch on the grid so we can do things in a straight line if you're struggling with that in some of these other similar games. This is soil fertility. So this area is if you're farming and doing forestry and things like that. This area is not bad. That area over there is not bad either. So we just need to be mindful of that as we're going into that. I'm assuming this is all rich. Let's just have a look at our fertile areas. We should be able to do a few bit of farms around here. Probably won't do farms right in the town center. I'm kind of thinking this area over here is a pretty good spot for like our main town, reaching from coast to coast. And then over here is kind of where I think we should do our forestry. Forestry and harvesting and hunting, gathering and hunting and so on. Okay, let's move on to the next one. This is the ore grid. So you can see mines over here won't be doing anything for us. So certainly this side is good for forest and farms and things. And over here is where we're going to do all of our mining. So pretty good all around. And that's it. So now let's get started straight into it. We need some houses for our people. We need some other things. I'm going to talk about the mechanics of this game as we go. But let's get started with, let's switch on the grid view. And we'll get started with providing our very first main road. So what I'll do is I'm going to do it so up to about that spot over there, back in that direction. And then what we'll do is we'll probably look at getting a nice big road up all the way this way. Something like that. We'll see how that goes. Unfortunately, I don't think you can do diagonals. Yep, absolutely not. You cannot do diagonals, which is a bit of a challenge as usual with these games. I'm kind of thinking let's do a pretty big road down this way. These are free, by the way. You can do that as much as you want. I'm going to do this and make sure we get our stuff going through there. One of these trees will be knocked down. And that, I think, is kind of going to be the starting point. We may... What is that thing? That's like a boar or something. Wild boar or something to that effect. Let's get a bit of a big kind of road just set and ready to go in this general direction. Okay, so there we go. So that's going to be the starting point for our little town. Now, what do we have in the game over here? We've got here all kinds of things in terms of building bridges. We've got stone roads and stuff. But the cool thing here is we've also got some research to deal with. So what we need to bear in mind is, hang on. Let's make our way through this. So a road sign, and you can place this to get people to walk faster and do things a little bit better. Now, we've got housing, so various types of housing is available to us. Tents and houses and stone houses and two-story houses and shelters. Those things are available to us. Then we've got some town buildings, a lot that we haven't researched yet. Peasants Guild House and inns and healer's house and cathedrals and all kinds of things. But as a starting point, we've got some docks. I wanted to have a quick look to see if we can, in fact, place the dock over here. We can. This was what I wanted to have a look at. It's much easier to build it. You can kind of have there's a zone there that you can overlap, which makes it really good. You can see that central zone can go either in the water or on the land, and that makes this kind of setup quite a good thing to be able to do. So we'll probably do a little something over here with the docks later on, not quite at the moment. We've got wells and all kinds of things over here. Then we've got farms. Some crop fields and orchards and ranches, very standard for this kind of game. Then we've got a myriad of production buildings, depots and windmills and hunting lodges and candle shops and perfume shops and so on. Lots and lots. We've got a fair bit along the lines of beautification that we can get to. This is the roads, and then we've got the standard, let's gather some resources around. So what we'll do as a starting point, let's see if there's any resources we can go and pick up over here. So there's some stones and things over here that we can go and grab. There's probably a bit of iron over here that we can get. So we'll go ahead and start picking up some of these bits and pieces. Anything over here? We can't actually do anything with this rock, so it's quite interesting to see that. What I might do is I might kind of chop down a little clump of trees, over there, and we'll go on from there. So the other big thing that we've got, similar for some of these games, is you've got the jobs board, so you can kind of make sure that you set the people to their tasks. And I think the minimap is ultimately not going to be that important for us, so I might take out the minimap and put the jobs board over here so that we can keep an eye on that. We want one carrier because they are suggesting we should get one. What do they say they do? Carriers are specialist workers dedicated to carrying resources around the town to and from the warehouses and production buildings. Unlike workers, carriers do not construct buildings, but they do transport resources 10% faster. Okay. So that's the kind of thing. And so we can have a look as we open up more options. We can have a look. But now the big key difference here is a massive research tree. Look at this thing. Scrolling. Lots of stuff that we need to research, and they get pretty pricey towards the end. So lots and lots of resources will be required to be able to actually get all of this researched. So anyway, that's a cool component that we didn't necessarily have in something like Banished, but I think it adds a lot of kind of purpose to the game, to be honest. So that's pretty cool. What else do we have over here? There's some, you can do decrees at your town house. Yes, that's what it is. So you can add lots of decrees, and you research them in the research tree, and you spend money to enact some of these decrees. So we'll have to see whether it's worth it or not worth it. We've got general stats on the people, how they're feeling, and what else do we have? Then we've got additional panels. What is additional panels? Annual. So that gives you a bit of an annual rundown of what's happened. We've got stock, so that's going to say what do you have of all of the resources. This is a bit of a summarized version. So as you see, that is food, but food is consists of a lot of different things. So it's a bit of a stockpiled, a summarized version of it, especially as you get to the luxury resources down here. Very much shown as luxuries, but they are made up of a number of different things. What else do we have? Stock. So residents, we've got a list of all the resident classes and things like that. So we do have classes: peasants, laborers, merchants, and gentry, and they have different needs and different social characteristics that kind of happens with that. We've also got happiness, and we can have a look at the trends of happiness as we go through. What else do we have here? We've got a list of buildings. Is this what we have, or is this just trying to say where I don't know. I've no idea. Town buildings, houses, kind of things. I've no idea how you would use that list, but maybe if you've got a sprawling city and you can't remember if you've built a church or something, you can have a look at the list. So let's get away with that. Then you've got the views. This is the views that have toggled through. Hide the trees. Oh, I didn't even know you could do that. That's quite interesting. So you can actually see what's going on underneath the trees without cutting them down. That's pretty cool. Then that's the various grid views that we talked about, and this is just your standard options, so quick save and the main menu. Okay, there we go. Let's get started straight into it. So for the time being, which is just a bit of a showcase of what this game is about. If you guys enjoyed it and you hit that like button and you leave me some awesome comments that you would like to continue the playthrough or continue to see where we go with this game, then please do so that we can decide whether this is just a let's try of a couple of episodes or whether it becomes a full let's play series. So without any further ado, let's start building some houses for our people. So I'm thinking on this section through here, and is that just a narrow one? Or no, that is at least a 2 wide. Yes, excellent. So we'll do a few houses over here, and I'm kind of interested in, yeah, let's do our first 4 houses. Actually, let's do our first 6 houses down here. And that will kind of be the starting point for the town. So let's unpause the game, and we're going to speed things along. The game can be pretty slow at times, so we'll do that. We'll wrap it around at the back there. And that's going to be our first block of stuff. So get out of our grid views and let's speed this up to a full 10 speed. Actually, maybe we'll start it off at 5 until we can get a few of the things that we need to do underway over here. I'm just thinking, our fertile areas was over there. Pause the game for a second while I have a double check of our soil fertility. So I'm almost tempted, but we're going to have, this is going to be our town. So trying to use this soil fertility is going to be a bit of a problem. Now, in Banished, you had a situation where it wasn't great if you had to walk too far away. But maybe what we'll do in this case is we'll get our first soil fertility area over here, or our first production areas over here. So what we want is, and we're out of lumber. Oh, but we can chop that down. So let's unpause the game while they chop down a bit of lumber, get a bit of building going on. And then I think the idea is that we do maybe a little something like this. The efficiency over here is not great. So probably over here somewhere where we get a pretty decent efficiency. If we go up to here, because efficiency is a pretty big thing, and you'll see we can work with all kinds of various upgrades and things like that over time. So let's place that one there. And from that point, let's get ourselves a little road. Only I could, what I can do is I can toggle the trees, but let's just see where this guy's at. Oh, actually, it's a pretty good spot. So we'll try and run our little pathway, all the way over there and up to there. And then we'll see how we use it. But anyway, for the time being, that'll be the pathway that we use. Now, let's switch this guy off because, oh, did I not? I'm sure I built it. Did it not build? That is awkward, isn't it? Yeah, that's the one. Let's just try and place it again. Yeah, there we go. Now we seem to be getting it all done right. There we go. So we've already got people over here. I don't think the distance traveled is as big a problem as it was in Banished per se. So let's see. One of the other things that we're going to need here ASAP is a depot. We need a depot available here so that we can actually store the stuff and people don't actually have to walk all the way back. The other thing we would like is a hunting lodge, and a forester's lodge is probably a bit more. That's the efficiency. Maybe if we place it over there, yeah, that efficiency is a little bit better. And we'll continue our expansion over there. So there we go. As you would typically find with these kind of games, you should not go too nuts with the building side of things. Diagonal roads would have been so awesome. I'll just kind of tie it together over there. So there's a little bit of places for people to kind of walk from the one side to the other side. But anyway, things are happening. Look at that. The building speed in this game is substantial, is very quick, is really, really quick. Much quicker than Banished. So some things can happen really quickly, but the rate at which your population grows is quite slow though. So we'll keep an eye on that. Once we've got the depot built over here, we can collect some of these things over here. So we've got our first food producing building and our first lumber producing building over here, and then we'll start growing from there. We'll see what we need as we go. I'm not going to start doing this just yet, although a fisherman's hut would not be the worst idea. I'll start work on researching the fisherman's hut. It goes pretty quickly, the research, and there's nothing you need to kind of compile to get the research going. So it's about as good as it's going to get. So that's a pretty big chunk, and I'm kind of wondering whether our town side doesn't actually go in here in the end, as opposed to on this side. Because this, well, we will have some buildings and stuff over here, but ultimately maybe our town site is better suited in this general location. So now we've got our first research done, so we can now do fishing huts, I think is what it's called. So we've got this guy ready to go, which is the depot. And now we've got a gatherer, so let's grab a couple of gatherers straight away. And now you can see you can actually start doing some improvements. So you can upgrade this to improve the production and so on. Now, you would like to do that instead of building new buildings because workers is at a premium. So try and get your productions up as quickly as possible is what I would say. Now, what we would like to do is let's gather a little bit of this stone. Are there any metals down here that we can collect? Not really. So that's okay. We'll just get those stones out of the way. And what have we also done here is the forester's lodge. So let's get the forester underway. Now, I'm going to go straight into upgrading some of these things as well. So let's get the fertilizer going. At least a couple of them. I think we've got enough. Yeah, lumber will be created. Let's get that going so that they grow a little quicker. The trees grow a little quicker, so we get that going. We'll slowly make upgrades as we go along. These guys are just popping them over here, so that's awesome. Getting our stone on over here. So now we should start seeing our supply of lumber increase without too much additional concerns. Now, the next thing I would like to have a look at, we've got a fair bit of extra workers available. They can, of course, build some buildings. And I'm kind of tempted to continue another little row of 6 over here so that we are ready to expand. But 5 people in there, 4 in there, 0 in here, and 0. Oh, actually, we've only got 1 spare house. So let's make sure to add a few extra houses to the mix over here. I'm not opposed to that. Let's do that. Let's get a couple of additional houses in place. Interesting that we can't quite get that. So we'll start building some additional houses, and I think that's going to be enough to kind of keep us going for quite a while. Now, what I would like to do is just make sure that we square this thing off over here. Excellent. I do think that actually runs straight into that road. It's just too wide from that side. So that's actually a pretty good start for our town, if I have to say so myself. If you agree, please tell me in the comments. Okay, now, the next thing I would like to do is start looking at a hunting lodge so that we can be sure to pick up on some extra food supplies. This efficiency over here is not great. If I do it to the back there, it's a little better, but nothing substantially better, to be honest. Over here, it's a little better on this side, maybe. Again, nothing substantially. I may just do it right over there. I think that's going to be just fine. Let's get the hunting lodge going. What else do we have in here? Forest is sawmill. Now, the next thing we're going to need to do is get a sawmill in action over here. And I'm kind of wondering whether we start doing a little bit of an industry in this open space over here to be a little bit out of that range. And I think that's not a bad idea. We'll want to do a sawmill at some point fairly quickly. So let's kind of do that so that we fill towards this side. So our industry over here would be a pretty good idea. So we'll do that. And what I'll do is I'm also going to grab another depot and just place that on this side. So there's a depot over there. So we just want to try and make sure that we've got depots fairly close together all the time, or fairly close to everything that we want to do. There we go. So now we're really starting to make a move. Now I'm going to go up to 10 speed because we need to go get a move on getting a few things done. It's probably heading towards winter, and our firewood situation is not awesome. Royal intervention. It has somehow reached the king that our city is running low on firewood. He's not pleased, but he has offered to send help. A trade ship has arrived and unloaded a helpful supply of heating materials. Build a sawmill to produce firewood. So we've got our firewood, which is what we're trying to do. And maybe our walking distances are a little problematic at this stage. Okay, so we've got extra houses available. We should be able to get everything we need fairly soon, and we shall get this up and running now. Now, the one thing that I'm thinking we should probably do is start working towards our dock. So we need 50 lumber, and lumber is a bit of a challenge. Oh my goodness, look at that food. We are going to run out of food in momentarily. What is happening over here? Can I please expand on our basket so we get a little bit more going? I might have... Okay, the king has intervened again, giving us a little bit of food. We honestly need to sort this thing out. So I'm hoping that we will now start producing food with these guys as quickly as possible. And I'm also thinking fishing. So maybe before we go to the dock, let's get the fishing underway. A fisherman's hut. Now, maybe we do it over here instead. Oh, crap. Does not want to... Oh, it can go in there. Okay, so let's get ourselves a bit of a fisherman's hut in this location. Why doesn't want to... What's the issue? Can't we afford it? Can. We should be able to afford it. It honestly, it doesn't want to build it. Is it do it there? Can I do it? There we can do it. So there was just something funny where I think these rocks over there was a bit of a problem. Now let's get ourselves a little pathway up there. Okay, and then probably yet another depot. I think right here in this location is probably right. We definitely want a woodcutter and we definitely want a fisherman. And that is probably about as far as we can go at this stage. Now we've got a woodcutter over here, so it'll create firewood for us. But the food thing is the one that I'm most in need of. So I think food is now starting to increase, and we'll definitely start catching fish over here as well. And then we'll start upgrading the various bits and pieces. So guys, that's kind of where a start is. I think it's been a pretty successful start, apart from the fact that I think we've maybe stretched ourselves. So things take a little bit longer to do due to these walking distances. So what we'll kind of want to do is maybe build a little bit of housing in this general area over here. And then just see how it goes. The population grows so slowly in this game, I've noticed that in other games like this, you would like to limit your population through limiting the housing. But over here, it's less of an issue, I think. It's less of an issue. You can accommodate all of your all of the population as they come in. So lumber is being a bit of a challenge. But our food is looking not too bad. Okay, there we go. Now it is getting to winter. Can these guys, do they have to walk all the way over there for stuff? I can't click on them, right? You know what I'm wondering? They might be, that one's not too far away. What I might do is I might go ahead and build, well, we don't have the lumber for it. Build yet another depot over here somewhere. Might not be the end of the world to try and do that. So now we've got a bit of wood available. Let's get another depot just in this location right over here. We won't be able to do much else in this area. So let's just place that one there. So at least there's something for these guys to come and collect some stuff nearby. The way I understand it works is they can put the stuff in there and then they're accessible from this location over here. So it kind of teleports it over there. Maybe it's actually the job of the carrier to move things around, but for the time being, that's what we'll be doing. So I think that is about as stretched as we can possibly be. And what we would like to do is just make sure that we've got everybody available. No firewood. There's firewood available yet again. That one's built. So now hopefully the fish production will be able to go in here pretty easily and quickly, and people won't have to walk too far. And then a similar thing will happen over here in this general location. No firework yet again. If we had a dock, we would be able to purchase firewood. We can't actually use lumber straight away. So what I can, of course, do is I can make sure that we chop down a bit more lumber. So I can do something like that and chop down a little bit more of that out of firewood yet again. So I think we've got a constant supply of firewood coming in, going out straight away. It's our first winter. Would expect to be a little bit problematic over here. The king is pleased with the colony, is slowly getting in its feet. You've placed the foundation of a flourishing city, and for that you're rewarded. 150 corn, firewood, and lumber. These are all very good things to have for us at the moment. So with that extra money, what I think we should do is make a move towards, or not money, materials. Make a move towards getting our dock in place. So if I go dock at the ready, can we do it over here? Does not want to do the dock in this location. I think these rocks here is being the problem. Yeah, it does not want to work. It looked like it wanted to work initially, but now I get the feeling that it's not working. And so what I'm almost tempted to do is try and find a little spot over here. If we do that, we should get the dock to go there. And then we can actually get an extra one next to that on that side. So let's just do something like this. I think that's going to be okay. So let's get started on the dock as well. Not sure we're going to make use of it straight away. We don't really have the population to run the dock, all these kind of things. But ultimately, if we run out of things again, the dock is critical in order for us to buy something for our people. We'll also that's also a prime way of making money. But the primary way at the moment is through taxes. So if we, oops, that's not the button. Come on, right click there, get rid of that. If I look at this guy, we've got some people there. 5 people are living here and we are getting an income of 170 coins per year. And that's, so that taxes model is how you're actually making money. You can of course trade for money, which we'll definitely do a lot of. And any other sources of money, I think if you build a market, you can generate a little bit of income from your people also. Our food supply is slowly going up, though the king probably helped out with that a fair bit. So I would like to have another look over here and just make sure that we up our production here a little bit more. Yes, that's a pretty good number. And I would also like to do the expert butcher over here so that we up that production again. Let's do another one. We've got a fair bit more there. Now that production is starting to go up a little bit more. Guys, I think that's about it. That's been half an hour. So thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, please hit that like button. Tell me what you think in the comments down below. Would you like to see a series of this? There's a lot to do and this town will grow massively. Oh, look at this. I've never seen this. I've never seen something like this. Look at that. It's a big boat. That is quite interesting. That is really quite interesting. We'll do some trading in the next episode. So at the moment, I'm just planning on doing like 2 or 3 episodes so you get a bit of a feel for the game. But do let me know either through the like button or in the comments whether you would like to see a more substantial series. We can do a lot in this game. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye-bye.